Football can be a grueling sport from time to time. Various injuries, tough seasons, an overall grueling schedule throughout the course of 4 months. The NFL is a very difficult place to be successful from one season to the next. Some people are great at doing it, like Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, but there are some players that are destined to fall every couple of seasons. So today, we're going to look at top 5 quarterbacks that are destined to have a bounce back season in 2017. At number 5 on our countdown, we have Russell Wilson. His stats last season were 353 completions on 546 attempts, a 64.7% completion percentage, 4,219 yards, 21 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, a 92.6 passer rating, and a 10-5-1 overall record. Now, with these first two gentlemen, it might be controversial to put them on the list just because their teams did do very successful. Both of them were playoff teams and were doing a decent job at what they were supposed to do on the field. However, their stats decreased, and there's some skepticism about what they are going to do in the upcoming season. Russell Wilson is a tremendous quarterback that has all the talent in the world to get teams like the Seattle Seahawks to success. However, last season, riddled with injuries and a team that was not as great as it once was, it kind of helped them the fact that there wasn't really a competitive team in their division to face them off with. The only other team that was even close was the Arizona Cardinals, who in themselves had a disappointing 7-8-1 record. So, why is Russell Wilson on the list? He needs to get better with stats in order for this team to go further on in the playoffs. Russell Wilson is an extremely talented quarterback that could be at least top 5 when he's 100% healthy. And when the completion percentage is down and the interceptions are up, it's not necessarily a positive thing to see for Russell Wilson. So I expect him fully to get better stats this season and have a bounce back year with the Seattle Seahawks team that he has right now. At number 4, we have Eli Manning of the New York Giants. His stats last season were 377 completions on 598 attempts, a 63% completion percentage, 4,027 yards, 26 touchdowns, 16 interceptions, 86 passer rating, and an 11-5 record. The reason I put Eli Manning on this list is because this team can win a Super Bowl if he was clutch. They have all the talent in the freaking world to win a Super Bowl right now. They made their defense so much better in the last season with getting Olivier Vernon and Janoris Jenkins. They beefed up that defense to be one of the top 5 possibly in the NFL. And then you have an incredible wide receiver line. You have Odell Beckham Jr., who's no doubt a top 5 receiver in the game. You have Sterling Shepard, who is a pretty good second-year player that's going to get a lot more passes this season than he did in his rookie year, and you picked up Brandon Marshall in the offseason. I think that's a great pickup for them because you have 3 solid receivers ready for Eli Manning. All Eli has to do is throw good passes. He's been inconsistent. I think he's one of the most overrated quarterbacks of this generation. However, with that team, he is destined to have a bounce-back season because you cannot screw this up. Eli Manning is at number 4 because of all the talent that is around him on the New York Giants organization. At number 3, we have Carson Palmer. His stats last year were 364 completions on 597 attempts, 61% completion percentage, 4,233 yards, 26 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, 87.2 passer rating, and a 7-8-1 record. Now, the Arizona Cardinals were one of the most disappointing teams of the 2016 season. I actually had them at the beginning of the year as my top contender for the NFC to make it to the Super Bowl. I thought they had all the potential with their defense, their solid receivers, their great running back in David Johnson, and of course Carson Palmer, who is a pretty good quarterback in this league, at least a top 10 quarterback. However, his stats really did decline. This team, for some reason, was not able to find all the pieces and make this team work to get in the playoffs. They were 7-8-1, the only kind of contesting team to beat the Seattle Seahawks in their division, but they didn't even do that well. So what was the problem? Well, Carson Palmer was widely inconsistent in his games. One day he would throw for 300 yards and have a pretty good win, and the next week he just wouldn't show up. He is talented. This team does have a lot of pieces that could make him a semi-good caliber team in the NFC. However, Carson Palmer's stats just did not reflect that this past season. And I think with a good combination of resting up and having good teammates on his side, having a great running back on his side, I think Carson Palmer is ready to get back there and at least have a better season 7-8-1. I think the Arizona Cardinals could be a little bit better than last season. That's hoping for Carson Palmer. That's why he's number 3 on this list. At number 2, we have Phillip Rivers. His stats last year were 349 completions on 578 attempts, 60.4 completion percentage, 4,386 yards, 33 touchdowns, 21 interceptions, an 87.9 passer rating, and a 5-11 record. Phillip Rivers is an interesting man in the realm of the NFL. He's a really good quarterback. You see some of these stats. 4,386 yards. That's pretty good. 33 touchdowns. That's an average of just about 2 touchdowns a game at least. And of course, some games were more than others. But Phillip Rivers can provide some pretty good stats when it comes to being a quarterback. The reason he's on this list is because his team doesn't provide him with anything. He had a down year because there were so many injuries to his roster. It's not like I haven't said that in the last 5 years about the San Diego or now LA Chargers. It's a weird phenomenon in the world of the NFL where some teams are just not that good, but the quarterbacks shine. Drew Brees, for an example, is a great quarterback, but the New Orleans Saints in the last couple of years haven't really been able to step up their game enough to be on the same level as Drew Brees. It's the same in Phillip Rivers' case. He has 33 touchdowns. He has a decent completion percentage, although it is down. There's some things that are there to grasp about Phillip Rivers' stats. However, the 5-11 record is just not there. So I think he's going to have a bounce back year at least for a little bit. If his players can stay healthy and be on the same level as Phillip Rivers, that great intensity level, I think he will have a bounce back year and be a possible contender in his division. And at number 1, we have Cam Newton. He had 270 completions on 510 attempts, 52.9 completion percentage, 3,509 yards, 19 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, 75.8 passer rating, and a 6-10 record. These are atrocious stats compared to the rest of the 4 gentlemen on this list. He's worse in every category besides interceptions and team record. 270 completions, by far worse than anybody else on this list. The worst one to me is the completion percentage, 52.9. Everybody else was at least 60.4%. So, what happened? I mean, the reason he's number 1 is solely because this team was a 15-1 Super Bowl team the year before, last season, Super Bowl 50 against the Denver Broncos. 15-1 to 6-10. And if you look at the stats, Cam's not even close to the MVP-like season that he had 2 seasons ago. Cam Newton certainly probably isn't going to get to the MVP level again, but he has to be better than last season. So many bad stats on this record. 19 touchdowns is very minimal for a quarterback. That's just barely 1 touchdown a game. The interceptions is okay, but that passing percentage is just awful. The passer rating is really, really bad. Cam Newton is not going to be an MVP level, like I said, but you can't get worse than last season. So he is destined to have a bounce back year and be at least a little bit better than his 2016 campaign. So thank you to everybody that watched this video about the top 5 quarterbacks destined to have a bounce back year in 2017. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like the video if you did. Comment below your thoughts. Do you have some other opinions, some other quarterbacks that should have been on this list? Do you disagree with some of the picks I put up there? Probably 5 and 4 possibly could be talked about. So let's talk about it in the comments section. Of course, subscribe to The Bottom Line View. We just hit 3,000 subscribers, so we really do appreciate that. We love all the fanfare we have gotten in the last couple of months. We went from under 1,500 subscribers at the beginning of the year to 3,000. It's incredible. We love every single one of you for doing so. So subscribe if you haven't already. Join the family. We have a lot more NFL content on the way, especially from Mitch. Adam's making a video here and there. Kev is going to be making a video. I'll be making more videos. Of course, we have a lot of wrestling content that is still on the way. And yeah, just stay tuned for more great content on this channel. For Dylan, peace out, guys.